Good afternoon, everyone. How's it going? Probably not terribly well, but we gotta keep on moving forward regardless, and we are going to move forward with your weekly edition of Snap Count Monday. Some interesting data this week from that Packers game. Obviously, once again, the Seahawks played way more defensive snaps than offensive snaps. Although, thanks to a little bit of garbage time, it wasn't quite as unbalanced as it might have been, so I guess that's exciting. No, it's not. Nothing's exciting right now when it comes to the way this team manages time of possession. It's all depressing and sad all the way down. But let's go ahead and dive into it, starting with the offense. How did we distribute snaps? Before we start with the numbers of individual players, I believe we had 61 snaps on offense this week. 61, which actually is higher than most of our games this year. So I guess that's kind of cool. Yeah, no, not cool. But anyway, Alex Collins got 30 snaps as the running back, and Travis Homer got 31, which I find to be really kind of interesting. I think it's indicative of the fact that Alex Collins is not 100% healthy, which might be part of the reason why we didn't run the ball very much, despite it working somewhat effectively and despite Wilson clearly not being right. But this also kind of goes back to the whole thing about us not having enough depth behind Carson. And to me, the real culprit is DJ Dallas, or the lack of organizational faith in DJ Dallas. I don't understand why in a game like this, where you don't have Carson and you decide not to play Penny, is DJ Dallas not getting any snaps in the backfield. 0 snaps as a running back. I don't understand. I know he has problems as a player. I know he's not great. I know that there are some things that he needs to do better than he's doing right now, but I don't understand why you wouldn't give him any snaps in a game where Carson and Penny are out and Collins is less than 100%. That to me is suspect. I don't know if he's showing in training camp that he's just not ready to play serious snaps, but for him to not even get one in that game is weird to me. So that's running backs, pretty self-explanatory. Just 2 guys got snaps as running backs, and Homer actually got more than Collins, which I think is probably because we passed the ball so much, which some people will say is a mistake, which it may have been, but I feel like Collins was probably not 100%, and that's a big reason why things went the way they did. Okay, wide receiver, some interesting stuff here. Metcalf got ejected at the end of that game, so I think he missed a few plays. But even with that, he was actually below 50 snaps for that game, whereas Lockett was up at 58. So it's very interesting to me that Lockett, a veteran who has a lot of mileage on his body, who is probably less capable of playing massive numbers of snaps physically at this point in his career compared to Metcalf, is getting more snaps than Metcalf. Even if you remove the ejection from the equation, Lockett has played significantly more snaps than Metcalf at this point, which I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm not saying that it's something that needs to be fixed. I just find it kind of interesting. I would have expected it to go the other way because we're trying to protect Lockett because he's not the most durable person in the world right now, and Metcalf is young and hungry and trying to get that contract. I know Metcalf's nursing a foot injury, but it doesn't seem to be inhibiting him. So I don't really know what's going on there, but I really don't know what's going on here with Dee Eskridge. So in his return game to action, he got 5 snaps. 5 out of 61. Up to 17 on the season. He got 1 carry and 1 target that I know of. Why even activate him? Why not just leave him inactive if you don't have any idea how to use him, if you don't have any plan to use him? And don't tell me the game plan didn't call for Eskridge, because we passed the ball a ton. We were passing the ball all over the place. And Freddie Swain, meanwhile, gets 41 snaps, so don't tell me we're only playing 2 receivers. We weren't. Swain played almost as many snaps as Metcalf. So, no disrespect to Freddie Swain, but he doesn't have the upper end talent and upside of an Eskridge. So what is going on here? This is not good. This tells me this team has no plan. For you to activate Dee Eskridge to use a active roster spot on him and then give him 5 snaps? Nuh-uh. That's no bueno. Penny Hart got 17 snaps, and that's fine, except for the fact that it's more than 3 times as many as Eskridge's. And yeah, that's it for receiver. Tight end is pretty much exactly what you would expect. Everett got 46 snaps and actually played a really nice game. Dissly got 32 snaps, seemed to play pretty well as well. So we're kind of back to where I expected the tight ends to be after a couple of weeks of Dissly getting the lion's share of snaps, which I found to be a little curious. But we've got some nice balance going on here, I think. I like what we're doing at tight end in terms of snap distribution. The only thing I liked from the offense yesterday was the fact that tight ends got used a lot. I think tight ends had like 9 or 10 catches combined. So maybe we can build on that. That's about the only thing that we can really build on for the offense this week for me, though. Okay, now we go over to the defense and some more interesting data here. Starting with the defensive ends, nobody played that many snaps. We had 74 defensive snaps, by the way. 74. So we played a lot of snaps on defense, and nobody played more than 33 snaps at defensive end. 33. Not even close to half, really. Little shy of half. So Dunlap played 31. Alton Robinson played 20. And I don't know what to say about Alton right now. He didn't play very well yesterday, I don't think. PFF thought he played atrociously, actually. They gave him like a 30. They thought he was one of the worst players on the field. But I don't understand why we're keeping him shelved to this degree. Like, this is a guy who is young, who has some upside. I don't know why it seems like we're just content to give him a couple series a game. And maybe they're seeing something in practice, but I'm not really in the mood to give the team the benefit of the doubt on that right now. Alton Robinson could be part of this team's future. You know who isn't? Benson Mayowa. So Benson Mayo gets 28 snaps, and part of that is I understand because he's playing linebacker for us right now, more or less. But I don't have any big objection here. 28 snaps in a game is fine. But here's one thing here that is really leaving me scratching my head. Kerry Hyder gets 15 snaps. I know he's not great, but he's playing pretty well. He's doing his job. When I notice him out there, it's mostly because he's doing things that I like. I think that I understand that he's a big end. I understand he's not a dominant pass rusher and was never going to be. I understand that he's his role in the defense is not necessarily something that's going to make or break this defense, but Kerry Hyder getting 15 snaps leaves me scratching my head a little bit. I don't see any reason for him to lose snaps, and if you look earlier in this season, he was playing 50 snaps a game, 40 snaps a game. And he's getting slowly eased out of the defense, and I don't know for what purpose. I don't know what we're getting out of somebody else that justifies this, so I'm confused about that. Defensive tackle, pretty predictable here. Well, I will say this. Monet got a much bigger role this week. He got 50 snaps, which actually led all defensive tackles and all defensive linemen in general. But Poona Ford got 49 and Al Woods got 46, so they're all up there. So they're all basically in the same, like, stratosphere, the same range, right? They're all in the same area. So a lot of work for all three guys. LJ Collier got 21 snaps. Some of his snaps obviously came at end, but pretty much what you would expect here for the most part. Monet getting more work tells me that he's 100% back from that elbow thing that he had, which is good. I don't know if he's playing as impactfully as I would like, but he's Brian Monet. You're not going to expect the world of him. All right, linebacker. This is more or less as predicted. Bobby Wagner played every snap, as he pretty much always does, 74. Not a very good game for Bobby, if we're being straight honest, but it's hard for me to criticize anything on this defense with how sad the offense was yesterday, really. Jordan Brooks played every snap except for 11, so he's getting a large chunk of the snaps, which... regardless of whether or not Brooks is playing good or bad. And I actually think he played pretty well yesterday. You got to get him out there as much as you can. You got to build experience and hopefully have something to build on going into 2022 with him. And Darrell Taylor got 31 snaps. I'd like to see a few more. I understand that you're still easing him in because it's kind of his rookie year, but he's somebody who is consistently showing up on film to me as one of our better players on defense. But I know there's a balancing act there. But 31 snaps for Taylor, mostly came at end. And no other linebacker got any snaps. So That's it for the linebackers. Cornerback. This is pretty nice. I like this. I really like what we did here. We kept it nice and simple at outside. DJ Reed played every snap. Trey Brown played every snap. We decided those are our two best guys. We're going to rock with them. And both guys, DJ Reed got beat early in the game. He wasn't perfect, but both guys played well. And our defense overall played really well. So that was good to see. DJ Reed played every snap coming off that injury he had a couple weeks ago. So that was good. And Trey Brown got every snap, proving that he has earned the trust and faith of this defensive coaching staff. And hopefully he continues to play every snap because as near as I can tell, he played a pretty effective game of football. Ugo Amadi played 46 snaps, and yeah, we need to talk about Ugo because those holding penalties on third down are becoming a real killer. Like, I know it happens from time to time, but I think there have been 3 separate plays this year where Ugo held on third down and gave up a first down. I don't know what it is, but if you watch the plays, he's holding, and he should know better by now. This is his 3rd year, so I don't know what's going on with Ugo, but he's obviously getting a lot more work because Blair's out, but he's got to get it together. Ryan Neal did not play that much, only 11 snaps, probably because the Packers don't have the kind of wide receiver depth of a team that would require more services from Ryan Neal, if I had to guess. If I had to make an assumption as to why Carroll would justify only giving Ryan Neal 11 snaps, then I would say it was probably something like that. The Packers probably just didn't get him onto the field that much by putting a lot of receivers out there. You're probably going to see a lot more Ryan Neal against the Cardinals because they're going to spread you out. And that's it for this week of Snap Count Monday. So let me know what you guys think down below. Some things leaving me scratching my head here, but overall fairly predictable. And I will see you guys later. Go Hawks.